G'day, welcome to Country Music World. I'm Mick.
And I'm Jay.
Today we're going to take you down to country New South Wales and talk to a guy that's been around the business for a long, long time.
He shot onto the scene at the Gympie Music Muster. He's done Star Maker as well and everything else in between.
He's had his ups and downs, Jay, and only a couple of years ago he's that guy that lost all his gear in a touring bus fire, and he nearly lost his hands and his fingers.
Head over to countrymusicworld.com.au, like and share the post, sit back, relax, and let's get to know a little bit more about Chalkie White.
In the middle of the night, blinded by the headlights, taking late to turn back. Too far from home, driving all alone, life's a rugged, winding track. Do you ever take the time?
So, Jay, we're going to cut across to Chalkie, who's going to be tucked away somewhere in his house, I think. Have we got you online, Chalk?
Hey, Chalkie.
Yeah, I'm here, mate. How you going?
G'day, mate. Welcome to Country Music World. Thanks for spending some time with us.
He's hiding from the kids, you see, mate.
Thanks very much for having me on board.
No worries. Are you tucked away in your closet there, mate, escaping the family life, are you?
I'm pretty close to it. Yeah, I mean, in the bedroom. It's a bit windy outside today, so yeah, didn't want to brave the elements. But, yeah.
Hey, now, Chalk,
I'm actually in here hiding from the kids, so they could turn this thing upside down in no time.
We speak the same language, yeah. You know, we lock the doors now. Hey, mate, you've been around this business for a while now, Chalkie, and right back to where I first, heard of you was probably back the talent search at Gympie Muster, which is 15, 16 years ago.
I think that was about 1945 or something, wasn't it?
2001 to be exact, mate.
So that's 15 years ago, Chalk. You sound old.
There you go, it was.
That's
It
15.
was 2001, correct. It feels like 1945.
All right, so let's go back before that again, mate. And what brought you into the country music game? So what was it for you that said, I'm going to be in the country business and singing country songs?
That's pretty easy to answer. My whole family have this. It's like a hereditary disease in our family. Country music. I've got uncles and aunties, and my grandmother was a yodeler. Uncles had a band. My cousin Lisa White had she was touring artist here in Australia for a lot of years with the Brian Young show and numerous others. And Mum and Dad both sang and played. My sister sings. My sister plays guitar. My sister married a drummer when I was young, and and he said, "Mate, you get your..." Yeah, I know. It's scary, isn't it? And he said, "You get your act together, mate, on that guitar, and you can come and join the band." So that's what I did, and the next thing I'm in the 50s, 60s rock and roll band. We did a lot of country as well then, my dad's was a very traditional country singer. He was more into Slim Dusty and the older style, which was what I was brought up on. And Mum was more of a rock and roller, but she sang country as well. So that's how I inherited the disease.
So you come from
pretty good disease, though.
You come from pretty good stock. I mean, Lisa White. Like I played a squillion shows with Lisa. I love Lisa. She's great. And I've known her for a lot of years. We should talk to Lisa. She's such a cool chick.
Mate, she's a very cool chick.
Oh, she's a great singer, great performer. She's awesome. I love Lisa. Mate, you come from good stock, and I mean you say it's hereditary. It kind of is, isn't it? You find that country music as a general. I mean, we hear that answer a lot. Mum and Dad did this, and the brothers and the sisters, and
I love the analogy of it's a disease because it's so true, mate.
It's a genetic disorder, I think.
It is. And there's no cure.
It's either an order or a disorder. You take it however you like. But I've seen a few of your interviews on here, and I noticed a lot of people tell the same story. And I think that's why country music runs so truly. Because it didn't come down in the last hour, and it's been around for a long time. So I think for that reason it's more believable, and more infectious for that reason, I reckon.
Mate, let's bring the clock up to the talent search back in the Gympie Muster in 2001, which was 15 years ago. Tell us
The other day, yeah.
what was that experience like, mate? Because that, in its day and in the time that you won this thing, it was
a big one.
That was a premier thing. Like that was a serious mark on the country music industry right there to win, and it still is. I'm not saying that it's not, but it had real clout back then.
It was definitely one of the biggies. It was between that and Toyota Starmaker in Tamworth, I guess. And this is before CMC were doing festivals, and it was the major festival and still is in Australia here. But I had a crack at it for a couple of years, and the year that I won, I stood on the main stage on the Wednesday, the week before the muster started, and before there was any production crew rolling in there in trucks and all that. And I stood up on that stage and I thought, I like the feel of this. I want to be here in the grand final for the muster. And a few things happened along the weekend. I nearly didn't get into the heat that I actually won. And I ran into Kerry Kennedy I believe you've done an interview with him. Yeah. And I ran into him in town in Gympie, and he said, mate, you could have a crack at this thing. And he sort of pushed me to believe in myself more, and away I went. And the next thing you know, they handed me the trophy. So I was pretty stoked.
Was it a tough thing for you, mate, to have a crack? Were you, you're saying that Kerry sort of gave you a bit of a nudge. What was going on? Were you wanting to not do it, or what? Were you doubting yourself, or what?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of self-doubt. I did the first heat. I think you entered 2 heats then, and I did the first heat, and I think I got a 3rd place or something, which I'd always placed in the heats at Gympie. I think I've been there 4 or 5 years in a row, and I thought, here we go again. I got another place. And I won't get a look in for the final, and you just sort of lose a bit of heart. But not that I didn't want to do it, but it was. Yeah, and the heat where I won, I broke a string in the middle of the song, the main guitar song, and finished it off with 5, and 5's the best. And so that's sort of how that happened. I was it was a huge catapult. It changed my life. I was working in a mine, for a mining company in Queensland at the time, and so. After I won at Gympie there, I made the decision that I wanted to play music, and it's turned out for the rest of my life so far. So, and that was 15 years ago. So I've been hard at it for another 15 years since then, and probably 10 before that. So it's
Let's talk about those 15 years, mate. So, what music have you done since that moment to now? So, what have you got out in the market? What have you? What have you been doing? Are you recording soon, or
Yeah, well, that's on the near horizon. I'm looking at releasing some product. I've dabbled in recordings over the years in a few different studios here and there, and a couple of years ago I was fortunate enough to be able to record an album and recorded with Sid Green down on the south coast, and he did a great job. As a working musician, the being able to afford to push product is the hardest thing, and probably the biggest hurdle. So we sort of hit a brick wall there for a while, but I'm pretty happy to say that I've got a few things in place to be releasing something soon. So it's an expensive game. It's expensive to live in the live music scene, and it's expensive to even dabble in the recording industry. These days, you have to have a video clip for every song, or it's hard miles, but I love doing what I do, and that's why I'm here talking to you guys.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, because you not only got to put out good production music to meet the expectations of the airplay nowadays, and the commercial grade music that's being played, if you fall behind on the production level, you probably get swallowed up pretty quick. And I mean, the current climate that we're in now, where everyone can stream music and they can access it so quick and so fast. Once upon a time, we used to have to jump in the car and go down to the record bar and buy the vinyls and the tapes and the CDs when they first started. And the competition of new music wasn't as fierce as it is now. But, you know, if you look at iTunes or you look at, you know, Spotify or all these other streaming sources out now, there's new music coming out every 6 hours around the world. Every 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, mate, it's a totally different ball game now. Releasing an album doesn't seem to be as hard, you know. Recording a song you can do in probably the next door neighbour's spare room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On your laptop, you can if you want to, but you know, there's guys out there that are, you know, I take the hat off to, that are investing in themselves and using the right tools for the right job. Seeking the right people and like yourselves and you know, really doing the job as best they can, and that's where it's at. I think it's in the quality of the production and you know, all the homework that goes into it. That's my belief anyway, mate.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard road, Chalkie, but mate, you've got a few other highlights along the way with your music career. Do you want to tell us about what the moments you put up on your pedestal at home there, or?
There's been a lot. There's a lot I don't remember. I've had a few good gigs this year. I was fortunate enough to be invited to play at the Mocker IBNS, which is probably one of Australia's craziest parties. But it goes for 2 days there up past the Central Coast in New South Wales, and yeah, it's pretty hectic. But it was a bunch of fun, and I think we put some photos up of that today on Facebook. So yeah, that was a hoot. We supported the Choir Boys earlier this year out west here in New South Wales, and that was a scream. Mate, I toured and helped. Was part management of a Garth Brooks tribute show here for 10 years in Australia, and we got to see some big crowds and play some big stages, and it was very well supported, which was, you know, for a tribute show here in Australia, you know, was a bunch of fun. So, and we're looking at doing that again in the future. So it's just putting all the pieces back in place for that. But yeah, as far as you know, the camaraderie with all the musicians and being on the road all the time with that was a hoot. I toured with the Brian Young Show when I was a lot younger, for 3 months on the road, and boy, learned a lot of lessons there, you know.
What was your highlight with Youngie, mate? What were the things that you've, you know, anyone that goes out with Youngie, they put certain elements into the rest of their life, and you know, you only went out for 3 months, but I can guarantee there's still elements of those 3 months in your current life right now.
There are, very much so, yeah. You know, just watching the way Youngie operated and the hard work that he put into the show, to every show that we did, which was pretty much 7 nights a week most of the time, and the amount of work that goes into it, and you know, you learn that it's never given to you, and it doesn't come on a silver platter. You have to do the work yourself. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, build it and they will come is a great motto that I picked up from the Brian Young tour. You know, he always went to a lot of trouble with his shows and made them as best as he possibly could. You know, and accommodated wherever we were. A lot of time we're out in you know, remote Indigenous communities and stuff, but he just went to so much trouble for that show and put all the hard work in, and that's what it comes down to. It's hard work.
Yeah,
you've got to put the work. Yeah,
lots of kilometres in those tubies, and lots of nights without a shower, having dust up your nostrils for days.
Roll the swag out on the side of the road for a can. Yeah.
Look out for the go-inners, mate. Make sure you zip up. Make sure you zip up. Hey, Chalk, what do you got? You know, what do you got in the mind for the next couple of years? So, you know, the next to 2020. What's your next 4 or 5 years, or 3 or 4 years now, as we're getting to the end of it? But what do you got in your short-term future, matey? Is there certain goals here you want to? Obviously, you want to get back in and record. Anything else you want to do musically? Is there any other things?
Mate, I've got a lot of songs up my sleeve and a lot of recording I want to do. Like I say, it's hitting that brick wall with, the financial side of things, trying to support a country music career. So, I go out and I do a lot of gigs in pubs and clubs. I'm working every weekend, so that's the goal, is to keep the calendar full and hopefully fit in some nice soul nourishing things along the way, like a few festivals and the B&S ball sort of circuit is, we're a bit of a, when I go out with the Chalkie White band, we're a bit of a party band and that's our thing, so I wouldn't mind pushing that out there a bit further and but yeah, the goal is to record some more songs, some more albums and get some more of my music out there,
You're still writing a lot of songs?
I write all the time, mate, yeah.
How many songs you reckon you've chalked up now, Chalk?
I see what you did there.
That's pretty clever, wasn't it? That's pretty clever.
That's pretty clever for you.
I could have said pen to paper, but I thought chalk works pretty well. How many you reckon you got?
Yeah, I don't know. A rough count, maybe 80, I guess. I don't know.
Not bad.
You know how many I got? 1, which I wrote with him.
But it's a hell of a song.
It's a good song. It took me 41 years to write that thing. It took me 41 years to write it. Hey,
I look forward to hearing it.
Mate, it hasn't all been ups for you, and and as for a lot of country artists and people just living their lives, I mean, you've got beautiful family that you're being dad with at the moment. You're trying to do the right there, and you're out working the pubs, and you're in the trenches, and you do the B&S's and all this stuff. But then every now and then, you're doing your thing, and you're working, and you're making a life for yourself. Then all of a sudden, something will throw you a curveball, and
I love this. I think I know where you're heading. And,
Go.
Mate, well, that isn't it just life, though, we all have little things that happen to us along the way. You've got to learn to get over those things and as best you can.
Well, for the people that don't know what we're talking about.
We followed Chalkie as well on his Facebook, and I think, was it last year or the year before? You
last year.
Working on your band van and
exactly,
had it burned to the ground.
We were. I was actually the story got changed a bit by the time it got to the media, but as it does. But we were chopping firewood for I'll cut the story short. The bus broke down a month before. We blew the motor, and a friend of mine and his father helped me rebuild the engine in the bus. A month before we put it on the road, and it was due for its 5,000 k service, so the motor had done 5,000 k's, and it was 2,000 k service. It was due for its 2,000 k oil change, etc., and we'd gone around there to do that, we decided we had to split a bit of firewood for my mate Andy's dad, so we were doing that. The next thing we looked across, and there was flames coming out of the bus, or there was smoke coming out of it, and I went, hang on, I was talking to the next door neighbour was talking to me, and I said, hang on mate, there's smoke coming out of the bus here, and I've opened the door and let the oxygen in, and the rest is history. So it went up like it was an inferno. You've probably seen the photos, but there was no stopping it, and we're running around trying to get the hose there, which was about 20 feet too short, and I don't think we would have saved it with a garden hose anyway, so it was a sad time. I lost a lot of instruments. I lost all of my equipment. I lost the guitars that I played for 16, 17 years, and some others as well. And the beautiful thing that came out of it, mate, is that the community pitched together, and they weren't about to see me do it hard, and they pitched together and they raised some money, and some guitars got handed my way, and after the burns healed, etc., I was able to just go straight back to work and back into what I love doing.
Now,
and that's the.
Now on that, Chalk, you copped a bit of a belting in this too. You burnt your hands up bad, right?
Yeah, I had burns. I couldn't pick up a guitar for about 8 weeks. I had some pretty serious burns. I ended up in the burns clinic in Sydney as well with it. But so I had a bit of time holding the lamps down at home, mate. But
it broke my heart when I saw this happen, you know, but you know, as it did with a lot of people, that you know the great thing out of this story, and it was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen in my life, was people gave you stuff. You got guitar effects, you got amps, you got guitars, you know.
My very close friend down the coast who's Narelle Brown, she runs JB's Entertainment. She badgered me. I won't say badgered, but she was at me for a couple of days about if she could make this thing public, and then the next thing you know, everyone wanted to do a fundraiser. And I tell you what, now the night they had down at Huskisson there, the amount of talent that was there on stage and off, it was mostly musos that were there. You know, musos supporting musos. It was just a really surreal night for me. Just being there at your own fundraiser is hard enough. You know, I sort of hid in the corner for some of it, and but. Yeah, it was just amazing to see the support that you don't always know is there until something like this happens, and you know the community comes together, and you know the worries of having to burn a hand and losing my bus and all my gear just went out the window, you know, because it was no longer about material possessions. It was about the people helping people, you know. So that was a beautiful thing.
It's you obviously still get pretty emotional about it now, you know, all this time later. I mean, the heels, the wounds are probably healed up a better, and you're back in the game. But you know, I can still see it there now. You're still locking up a bit. I mean,
it means a lot to me. You know, like if you hear of it happening to other people, and when it happens to you, it's something you never forget. You know, so I've already penned some lines, and a couple of songs have come out of it already, and I look forward to getting them out there because I know a lot of people will know exactly where the songs came from. So
sure,
yeah, and it does hit home, mate. Every time I think about what happened there, you know, it's all a blur, but when you start piecing it all back together, it becomes quite emotional for sure.
Yeah. Well, Chalkie, you've certainly done a lot, and you've got a lot of experience. Do a lot of live gigs, mate. Any advice for some young up-and-coming artists that want to get into this crazy game?
Yes, I do, mate. Work hard. Be good to your mum.
Always be good to your mum.
Be good to your mum.
Yeah.
Buy Chalkie White's next album that comes out.
Yes,
right.
Nice.
No, it is like what we talked about earlier. It's all about hard work, and you know I teach a bit of guitar through the week here where I live in Crookall as well, and I tell all of my students that if you want to be great, you have to put the time in, and it's not a given. You're not born with the ability to play music. It's something you acquire with the passion that you have, the want to play music and to play it well. So you have to put the time in. It's hard work. I'll put a lot of time into mine, and you know, it's a work in progress, and it'll be like that till the day I die. But yeah, just work hard and follow your dreams. You get given one. We're here for one go. We get one go at this. You can either spend it laying bricks, or you can spend it playing music. Whatever you want to do. I know what I'm probably doing.
I don't want to lay bricks.
No.
I don't lay bricks.
I had a go at that once.
One brick. That's I'm done. Give me guitar. Hey, Chalk, is there anyone that you got your eyes on at the moment, mate? Is around your area? Is there anyone that's sort of going, wow, that there's something here, or you know, who's in your iPod right now? Who are you listening to? Who are you going, wow, that's my go-to music?
What are you listening to? I'll tell you what my favourite new song is. What are you listening to? Chris Stapleton.
I was almost going to say
how good is that guy? Fair dinkum.
Isn't he great?
Yeah, so Chris and there's a few others. Mate, I still listen to Keith Urban's The Ranch album every day. So, so it's still the best country album ever released.
Ghost in This Guitar is still the best
until my next one comes out, of course.
I'm hearing you. Where can we find you, Chalk? So if people want to get out and about and see your live gigs, or see what festivals or BNSs you're going to be up and about, where do they find you, brother?
Mate, my gigs are always advertised on my Facebook pages, and generally I'm either in this central west New South Wales, or I'm down the south coast New South Wales. I sort of split it up different weekends, but so it's always in the gig guides and stuff like that too. So other than that, it gets pushed a fair amount on Facebook and social media. So yeah, that's about it, mate.
Well, we're going to gather up.
Or just ring me.
Yeah,
ring me up and I'll tell you where I'm playing.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
Oh look, it is easy nowadays, isn't it? People can just go to your Facebook.
phone calls next week.
Yeah, we'll make sure your phone number's below. We won't. We'll make sure your links are below, mate, so people can go out and find you. And I recommend, Jay, that if they're around the area where Chalkie's playing, go and see this guy, because he's a great guitar player, he's a great writer, great singer, and he's a good dude. You just can't have a bad night when you're in the Chalkie White vicinity.
Oh, thank you very much, mate.
It's just so simple, isn't it?
I'll send you the check.
Oh no, that one's on the house, man. That one's free. Don't worry about it. But you can put all the fairy dust over it that you like, but at the end of the day, real people singing music because they love it. That's a cool thing.
That's winning.
Yeah.
Well,
I get asked all the time, do I love what I'm doing? And the answer is, well, it's my 26th year in music, playing professionally in pubs and clubs and everything else I get involved in, and without even answering the question, I think it answers itself. If I didn't love it, then I wouldn't be here. I'd be laying bricks.
Yeah, don't lay bricks. Don't do bricks.
Don't do bricks.
Do you still play every single day, mate? Is there a day that goes by, other when you got your burnt hands, is there a day goes by where you don't pick that stick up and have a bit of a strum? Or sing a song?
The guitar, there's always a guitar out here at home, mate. The kids go crazy over them. I teach a couple of, different times through the week. So, and I'm always recording here at home, drafting new songs and keeping the wheels in motion. So yeah, it's not a day goes by. Huh?
What about the next generation, the little Chalkies, mate? Are they? You got musicians happening here? Your little sprouts? Are they running around?
I have a daughter who's 17. Her name's Emily White. She penned her first song when she was 12, and we had it on iTunes by the time she was 13. So she's quite a natural. She's got a natural passion for music, and she's doing year 12 this coming year. So her focus has moved a little bit for now, but the little ones, I don't know, mate, they're pretty crazy. I reckon they'd be great entertainers. They're pretty hectic though, eh?
It's full on, isn't it?
They're already very entertaining.
I know. It's just you add all the elements to go on to a normal life, and then you throw a couple of little ones in the mix. It's just families and parents that are just sitting here that don't have all the music business and the entertaining and the learning and the instrument craftation, all that sort of stuff that goes with it. Just a couple of kids alone, people know that. Even one kid, I got one child. Man, he's full time right there, So I don't know. I always say I need 27 hours in 8 days a week. That'd be perfect if I get a few hours for myself,
Oh, man.
But that's the hardest thing is finding a balance. I'd love to sit in the studio from Monday to Friday in between gigs and just record, but I've got these little people that want to take up all of my time, and I don't mind them doing that. So it's a matter of finding a balance in life, and if you can do that right, then I think you end up pretty happy. So And I think happiness that's all what it's all about.
Mate, Chalkie White, I think you're an absolute man. You're a champion. Honestly, you know, you work hard. Your business ethic is great. You've gone through, you know, the tough toils that we know, and you just power back through it. As tough as it may, no matter what wall gets put up in front of you, you find a way to get yourself through it and keep yourself going and smile and be happy and raise your family and all this stuff. And you know, man, the first time I saw you, I was at Gympie the year that you won, and I saw you play, and I thought, wow, this guy's great. He's cool, this kid, you know. And 15 years ago, you were a kid, you know. Well,
I
both
did
15
nothing then.
But you know, and I've kept a close eye on you for, you know, the last 15 years to try and see where you're out and about and what music you're doing, because you intrigued me 15 years ago, and I really, really hope your new album comes out and gets you successful, and we see you back in my neck of the woods as well. And you know, we could probably hopefully pull you out of the pub scene a little bit and put you back more on the direct country music stage week in, week out. That we can bring you back here a little bit, because you know, you were always fantastic with your craft and your writing and your music and your band. It was always really good, and I want to see it more all the time, you know, and I don't get to see that as much when you're out and out playing these pub gigs. So I want you back, I want you more directly straight back with us, you know, so we can be like, Chalkie's ours and give him back, you know. And
mate, you're speaking my words there. You couldn't have said it any more perfectly, and that's where what the aim is for me, you know. You know, I'm halfway through my life, so I want to spend the rest of my life doing things that really matter, and I love getting out and playing in a country pub somewhere, you know, to the locals. It's always a hoot, but there's nothing like stepping out onto a stage with you know, a country music audience and being able to play my own material. That's you know, that's the holy grail for me. So. I'm sure I'm not alone there too. So.
No, I don't think you are, mate.
That is the holy grail.
Chalk, we're going to make sure all your details are below, mate, so people can get in contact with you. And again, put Chalkie on your musical to-do list, because you need to go and spend a couple of nights with this guy. And, you know, follow his career, buy the new music when it comes out.
Yep.
And, mate, you know, you got our support. You've always had my support, and I'm sure you're going to have Jay's for the rest of his life as well.
Absolutely.
And on behalf of Jay, myself, and everyone here at the Country Music World, brother, we thank you so much, and we wish you all the best, Chalkie. And you're a pleasure to talk to you, man. And we hope to do it again real soon.
Mate, thank you guys very much. Thanks for the opportunity to be on Country Music World, and congratulations on everything you've achieved with Country Music World so far, and especially, you know, the nourishment of our local acts here in Australia. And, you know, a lot of us need all the help we can get. So, you know, I appreciate it, and we all appreciate it, mate.
Oh, man, something we love doing. Something we love doing. Well, Chalkie White, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much. See you later.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Did you like that interview and want to see some more just like it? Then check them out right there.
We've got artist interviews. We check out the festivals that are happening in your area.
We'll have a look at the country music birthdays, and then we'll dive back into the history of Australian country music.
We've got the CMW Country Artist of the Week chart as voted by you, and we also have heaps of weekly prize giveaways.
So give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because together we can make a difference in the country music world.